Hi. I wanted to talk a little bit about today the need we all have from time to time where we need something and we need to ask for help. In particular, if you have a need, maybe your car breaks down, need to borrow someone's car or get a ride, you call someone that you know and ask them, "Can I get a ride? Would you come and get me? I'm stranded on a road," whatever it happens to be. We look to someone that we know most commonly for help. If we know no one's available, well, then we call people that we know will come and help us, a wrecker service or whatever. But we go outside of ourselves. This happens frequently in our life where we need something and there's nothing within our grasp or talents or gifts or whatever to take care of whatever's happening in that moment. So we call someone that we know, and typically it's someone that we know. Um, in the Bible, Jesus talks about when he wants to talk about us asking for things that we need. He gives the example of if you're hungry and you're a child, you go to your father. He doesn't say mother, but mom would be common. "I'm hungry. Can I get something to eat?" And Jesus explains that the Father, human Father, he's not going to give his child a stone. He's going to give them something edible, something good to eat. And so the concept of going to someone that we know is usually the route we go. We don't ask total strangers unless we are completely helpless. It's an emergency. And we cry out to anyone to help us. But most commonly it's with someone that we know. And when Jesus talks about asking for things that we need, in particular asking his Father for what we need, he says it pretty simply. He explains pretty simple, whatever you ask. And if you ask in my name, meaning you have a relationship with me, and you say, "Father, I know your son Jesus, and so using his name, in honor of his name, would you give me this? Would you help me with this?" And Jesus says, if you ask anything in my name, it's going to be done. It's going to be answered. And he says, everything that you ask, if you believe, you'll receive. So then there's this catch, kind of, right? If you believe. Well, then the whole question of faith comes in. And, well, do I believe? Do I believe the Father will give this to me? When you ask your own mom or your own dad or a relative or a friend, you know they will respond affirmatively because they love you and they care about you and they want to help you. And they would want you to do the same for them. So there's, in a relationship situation, faith is really not an issue, is it? You just know, you believe they will help you because you have an experience of them helping you. And Jesus is explaining it pretty much the same way. If you know me, if you know who I am, how kind, loving, how I'm there for you, how I came into the world to save you, to rescue you, he proves his caring, right? He proves his friendship with us, and the Father's the same. And so faith is not about mustering up, do I believe, do I believe, do I believe? It's relational. So if we look at a friend, it's relational. And if we ask in God for something, it's relational. Our faith is based upon how well do we know him. And so it behooves us to get to know him, obviously, to have a relationship with the Father, with Jesus, with Holy Spirit. And if we know them, and if we're talking to them and with them and experience their love, Well, it's just easy then. Faith is kind of a given to easily go to them and say, would you help me? Of course, we have things that pull against us, wounds from childhood and wounds to our own personal identity. We sometimes believe that people don't want to help us, or they don't have time to help us, or we're not that important to them. And so maybe we don't feel like we don't deserve to be loved. Maybe we're living with shame. People really wouldn't like me if they really knew me. And so there's all these kind of catches in our heart that just put on the brakes when we're thinking about asking for help, for example. But in relationship with God too, it passes on to Him. And if inside we're believing things that aren't true, that the enemy has convinced you are true, the liar, the accuser that's out there that does not want you to believe you truly are lovable and redeemed, well, then you're going to hold back. You're going to second guess and feel like, well, he might help others, but he's not going to help me because I'm not worth it. And our experience with mom and dad and how quickly they might have been able to take care of needs or deny things, not give us what we really desire. It sows things into us and into our heart, into our experience that just then transfers to God and says, well, he's like that too. But of course he's not. He can't stop being loving. He wants and desires our first caregivers, the people that answer our needs when we say help, to be there for us. And they let us down. We forgive them, move on. Or if we don't forgive them, we can't move on. And we just see God in that same light. So we can have that trouble. And again, seeking healing for yourself. On my website, there's many helps for doing that you can get a hold of to find out how can I get healed of that. The other problem, I think, is just in our culture. We kind of believe that we're supposed to be efficient, take care of ourselves, get a job, provide for ourselves, get a home, place to live, just to take care of things, to do things, especially men feel called to do that just in their makeup, but women too can become very self-sufficient where I don't need anyone. And our whole American culture is kind of built on independence. Build your own life, take care of yourself, provide for yourself. Don't be dependent on anyone. But under that is really a kind of a cruel lie that we can be self-sufficient. The real truth, of course, is that God created us needy. He created us corporate, meaning we are supposed to identify with a group of people. It's one of the reasons He calls us to be a part of a community, a Christian community, a church, some kind of group that is going to be there and surround us and provide for ways that we can't provide for ourselves. St. Paul uses the analogy of, one person's a foot, one person's an arm, one person's a hand. We're like a human body. We need all the parts working together. And so none of us is really sufficient in ourselves. We all need others. We need help. And of course, the culture around us can kind of drive into us that, well, you shouldn't be dependent on others. But that's a lie, because you do and always will be in need. And maybe you don't feel that need at the moment, but crises come, difficulties come, you get sick. What do? You go to a doctor. You get help. If you're in financial trouble, you get help. And that's how we're made, and that's how God created us to be. He didn't create you to be fully dependent on yourself. And that's where the whole pride comes in, and arrogance. Like, I'm self-sufficient. I can do anything I need to do. I can take care of myself. I can do what I want. But in the end, we come down to and realize and recognize I'm not as strong as I thought. I can't do everything. I need help. I need assistance. I don't know how to put a roof on my house. I have to hire people to do that. Or I'm not a mechanic. I have to hire someone to fix my car. It's all supposed to work that way. And it's okay, and it's a peaceful place to be. Recognizing your need is important in approaching God, to realize that I need help. And Jesus explained all that. He said, even in that prayer that he gave us to the Father, just ask him for whatever your daily bread is. It might be a car, it might be a home, it might be friends, it might be whatever. But it's hard to ask if you don't know and don't have a relationship with God. It really feels strange to ask. We feel like I gotta have faith. And again, what is faith? Faith is relational. Know the giver, and you'll receive from the giver easily, because he knows you. And we believe that the giver is going to do it, because why? He loves me. He's not gonna let me down. Not gonna let me struggle in this mess. He wants to come and assist me. And so Jesus said, everything that you ask for and believe that you'll receive, it's going to be done for you. He'll provide for you. And so the key to humility is just simply to say, you know what, I'm in need. I'm insufficient. What I've noticed over the years is that many people don't ask. They're struggling, languishing, really frustrated, really stressed, trying to get something fixed, something processed, done, something accomplished, and they never ask God for help. It always amazes me. And maybe there's just that block, or that's that unawareness that God created us, that he exists and cares about us. He sees us struggling. But God waits. He waits to be asked. I love it when my grandchildren ask me for candy. Guess what? They know I'm going to give them candy. They don't doubt that at all. Grandma might say, oh, don't give them candy, it's just before supper, but they know I will give it to them. Why? Because I love them. And they know I love them, and they know they can ask me for candy, and I will give it to them. So my encouragement to you today is ask. Don't wait, don't struggle. Ask for help. You'll be surprised at this wonderful God that loves you, that wants to help, and you'll be surprised at how he does that. I just invite you to subscribe to this channel. Send me a comment if there's things that you'd like me to talk about. More than happy to look at that. But I just encourage you to sign up, and so you can get the notifications when new videos are produced. And I do that every week. They go out on Wednesday afternoon, so they come every week. And I just invite you to subscribe so that you can get a message that your heart needs. We try so hard with our brains sometimes. When our heart says, ask God, you need help. You're not enough. And the heart knows that. So may God bless you. Have a great day. You are a great person, a great individual, and you will succeed. And you'll succeed, as God says it, His plans for you are great and amazing, and He wants you to succeed. Have a good day.